Okay, you're rolling now?
Nope.
James. It was James's idea to go get some Kratom.
Mm-hmm.
This is for documenting purposes.
Let's go buy Kratom.
Hey, you want to buy some Kratom, man? So we want to illustrate how easy it is to get this stuff.
Because we're literally going to a gas station around the corner.
So this is interesting, man. You know, because I could see how it would be really easy to just justify getting it right now. Like, just even in my own head, my own little addict brain is already, wheels are turning.
Oh, like, it's legal.
Hey, Leslie, you're on speaker in the car with James and Andrew. We're on the way to go buy some Kratom.
You are upset. Seriously, that's all you talk about.
It's Kratom?
See, it's already taken over your addict brain.
Okay, well, I was just calling to see if you guys need something to eat. I know you guys had a podcast, and then there's another one again at 1, so just calling, just thinking about you guys, but you guys are off, so...
Lifting slowly from my bed, I shake my head. I've done this before. So tell me, darling, once again, would you say?
Shout out to my 400 Instagram followers. I really wanted, some sort of powerful opiate, but I settled for Kratom. Is basically how it worked. When I came to treatment, it was a couple of years ago, and they didn't have all the Kratom tests and all that. So basically, this was just like the most that I could get, that I thought I could get away with without getting caught. You know what I mean? And it was readily available. I at least was, minimizing the damage I could do by not getting arrested with it, not getting caught with it. I wasn't gonna get caught on a urinalysis, that kind of stuff. So it was just typical sneaky drug addict behavior with, as far as like being able to get away with it. Like, I thought that I would be able to get away with it. And also, I remember telling myself, just because I'm using Kratom doesn't mean I can't be a better person.
Another trend we're seeing among young people is the use and abuse of a widely available substance called Kratom. Now, if you've not yet heard of this drug, trust us, you soon will. Kratom is derived from the leaves of a plant found in Southeast Asia and is marketed as a relief to everything from anxiety to diabetes.
For you, as I'm looking for, because your experience with bringing in the synthetics, that's what I kind of want. I was like, how does something like this get in a convenience store? How does it get so popular? If it is that bad.
And it's been around for hundreds of years,
Why is it now popular,
I'm Dan Francis, and I formed an organization to represent synthetic compounds, commonly termed research chemicals, to introduce them into the market at large through retailers. And we called that organization the Retail Compliance Association. And what we did was we brought in chemicals that were called synthetic cannabinoids, and we had different manufacturers were applying them to leafy materials and selling it as what came to be known as spice or potpourri, fake weed.
Getting high without breaking the law using fake marijuana appears to be catching on across the country.
News 4's Myra Ruiz has looked into the so-called legal drug, and Myra, understand that artificial pot has some origins right here in the upstate.
Sure does, Nigel and Beth. The synthetic THC that's used in many of these fake pot products were created here at Clemson University, and it was part of a research project to find possible medical therapies. But now the Drug Enforcement Administration says it's being manufactured overseas as the active ingredient in these legal marijuana products.
My role in that was to act as a lobbyist and provide some sort of a resistance to the regulatory efforts of the federal government, state governments, and local governments.
I don't know if it was the fact that it was like making my eyes crossed, or if it was you know, the way that I would lose 20 pounds when I would get on it, but it was the reason that I got caught is because I was obviously a different person. I never had any money. I would work 60 hours a week, but couldn't pay my rent. The director of the sober living house, I was like, what's the deal? You work, you're never at meetings because you're always at work, yet you can't pay rent. They would see me on the 6:30 a.m. bike ride, and they knew I wasn't all about exercise. You know, and they'd be like, where the hell is this guy going at 6:30 a.m. on a bicycle? And I was going to the gas station, you know? I sold a car and spent the money on Kratom, and had to borrow $175 to get back into sober living 2 months later.
So the primary marketing effort focused on 3 points. One of them that it was legal. One of them that it was safe and non-addictive. And another one that it had medicinal value, that people were taking it in replacement of other common drugs such as marijuana or opiates. And these types of efforts mimic the same marketing efforts you're hearing about Kratom. The main difference with Kratom is that it's not a research chemical. In other words, it's not something that a laboratory puts together and synthesizes and creates. It exists out there as a tree. And what Kratom is that leaf of that tree dried out and then ground into a powder. The traditional use of it is to take the raw leaf and just chew on it. And that's been a Taiwanese remedy for centuries. So it's a new way to do it. And anybody can recognize that if I dry something out and make a powder of it, I get a whole lot of leaves in that powder. So it's a method of concentrating its effect.
So this is just down the street in the middle lane here.
That truck, oh, this truck.
Yeah. So this is down the street, not even a 5-minute ride.
Right.
And if we were young and dumb and ready to run, we could cruise down here, cop some of this.
Jump on our bicycle.
Jump on our bike right down here. This is how easy it would be to get. There's no police band chasing us. We're not putting ourselves in any precarious situation.
We don't have to call a dealer.
We don't have to call a dealer.
Wait around for a dealer to show up.
We're not scared.
We're not worried. No, we're not scared. There's nothing illegal about what we're doing right here.
How has Kratom affected your life?
Kratom, in my experience, Kratom's hurt me a lot. You know, I think it's taken a piece of me that I will never have back, or that it'll take me a long time to get back. You know, for me, I associate Kratom with being able to work hard, with being able to get out of bed in the morning and get at my day. When I was younger, particularly around when I was 17 and 18, I would wake up in the morning excited to go to work. I'd be excited to hang out with people around me. I had interest in the people around me. I had fun with my friends, and I enjoyed time with my family. And after using it daily for months, almost a year straight at one point, you know, that's what I was dependent on to get that energy, to get to work and work hard, enjoy what I do. And after becoming dependent on that for so long, it's very hard to get myself up in the morning right away. It's very difficult to get to school and study hard and focus, because the crutch that I used to do all of that for so long is gone now. So it's had a pretty negative effect on my life.
I mean, I remember when I lived in Noonan, I would wake up in the middle of the night and just dump some in a cup and put it in the thing and rinse it down and go back to sleep, because I would be in like withdrawals from it. So I would like need it just to be able to get a good night's sleep. My girlfriend, who was in recovery, had a major problem with it, mostly with the dishonesty side of it, but certainly with the actual, you know, the fact that I'm using a substance to get through the day, you know, the addiction side of it. So when I could see what it was doing to our relationship and to my relationship with my like people around me. You know what I mean? I was like withdrawing, I wasn't as gregarious, I wasn't as like personable, you know, and I could feel that, but I couldn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? It was like, I would be conscious of that and try to address it with no result.
So my experience with Kratom is a little skewed. Being an addict and being around other addicts, I hear about all the negative effects that Kratom has on people's lives. And it's very bizarre, because people hear Kratom's an opiate, oh, it's addictive, it must not be good, we need to make it illegal. That's what the government will put out. And there's a part of the Kratom community that it spreads misinformation saying that there are no withdrawal symptoms, it has no negative effects on your life. And the truth is neither are true, you know. Kratom's strange in that it can help, it has helped millions of people. You know, you look at the 45-year-old who has chronic back pain. She's taking 12 to 13 Oxycontin a day as prescribed. She has to do this just to be able to get up and work and make money for her children. Kratom would save this woman. The side effects from Oxycontin withdrawal and that a dependence on that level are severe and life-crippling. People like that, they often switch to Kratom, not to get high, but for pain management, and they're able to get their lives back and provide for their family and enjoy their life. And it's a big solution to the opioid epidemic. And we're completely ignoring that aspect of it when we say it's only dangerous. But then we're also completely ignoring the potential risks of it, the potential damage it can cause to one's life when we only say it's a miracle drug. So I think it's time we have an honest conversation about this. You know, is Kratom good or bad? It's neither, it's what you make it.
And Dr. Holcomb, I want to ask you a question as a follow-up, because I actually hear you loud and clear when you say that. But here's where I get concerned with complete lack of regulation. 30 grams, it says, and I don't even know what that means.
We don't know how much that is.
And I read the back, there's no dosing in this. I could go buy this at a convenience store, and it just says, do not use while operating a motor vehicle, machinery, if you're pregnant or nursing.
Can I speak to that?
And so this is what I get concerned with, is not people necessarily using it in a way that does help them, because clearly I don't want to take away from what Chris and Susan have experienced and your own particular path. But what I worry about is this. If I can go buy this, I have no idea what's in it, and I'm a kid or an adult, quite frankly, and I go pop a few of these, and I end up under the bridge.
I don't think anybody here is opposed to control and oversight or selling to people under 18 regulation. So, but I think if you go backwards instead of forwards, you're going to have people buying illicit substances that are more dangerous, and it's going to be counterproductive and dangerous.
I'm curious how far apart the two sides are, because again, we're all hearing about this for the first time. If you're not involved in this, most people have never heard of it. Is the biggest battle regulation? Do you all believe in regulation?
I believe 100% that this needs to be regulated. I have a lot of experience in the supplement world. You know, I did a documentary, Bigger, Stronger, Faster. We went in and studied all these supplements.
So you acknowledge this could be dangerous and is dangerous being unregulated?
Not acknowledging it could be
it's
dangerous.
great you did a documentary. I used to run supplements for the FDA, so that's a nice experience. These are all illegal products, and when they're making claims to treat addiction, to cure chronic pain, supplements don't do that. So the notion that they're accepting and embracing regulation is somewhat laughable when they're talking about addiction.
Over the years, I've seen Kratom, the use of Kratom increase. A lot of people are trying to get off heroin and substitute that with Kratom to stop the withdrawals, or if they still want to use but not use heroin. I know a lot of people who use it. I know a lot of people who relapse on Kratom and then go back to heroin. My name is Chris Zolman. I'm the director of Stepping Stones of Atlanta Recovery Residence. It's a sober living for men.
When did you first hear about Kratom, and how did you hear about it?
It's probably when I got sober in early 2012. It started becoming a popular, started to come up. I met someone in rehab who had taken it, and then when I got to sober living, that's where Kratom is actually really prevalent, unfortunately. It's almost undetectable on all standard UA cups. I mean, there's a lot of people in sober livings do that so they don't get caught, because they don't want to be kicked out on the streets or homeless, any of that stuff. So it's very popular. So I've seen someone pawn all of their belongings for Kratom, something you get at a gas station. I've seen someone go through detox, and it looked, I was a heroin addict myself, it looked just as bad as a heroin detox on the couch, if not worse. I mean, it was brutal for him.
So which one should we get? I mean,
how much
there's
it is.
so much. There's like so many different varieties. Did you ask if there's a starter kit? Do you have like a freshman version?
So which one? No, they're 3 or 5. Well, how much are they?
$50
For that?
Yes.
And then what about the bigger things?
Bag of this guy?
Yeah.
$34.99.
And is this pills or is that?
Yes. Okay, $66.50, please.
Just want to be clear, I use my own money to buy this Kratom.
Easy as that.
Okay, so when you look out into the supplement world, and you'll see that there's alternatives to ibuprofen, and you'll see that there's alternatives to sleep aids, and you'll see that there's alternatives to antidepressants or other types of prescription drugs. And Kratom was brought into the market under one of those guises as well. And that guise is that you can safely detox off more dangerous, more addictive types of opiates. And the truth is that it does take you off of that, because Kratom is also an opiate. That metragenine attaches to the opiate receptor, or what they call antagonizes it, activates it, turns it on. Think of it as a light switch. It's not that simple, but that's a good way to think of it. That Kratom turns that light switch on as well, without the same risk of respiratory depression that these other drugs cause.
It was this feeling of, here I am, I'm 35 years old, I'm in a halfway house, I'm a very capable person, I'm intelligent, I went to college, I graduated from college, this doesn't add up, you know what I mean? And I was absolutely like miserable inside. It makes me think about like the third step for me. I'm part of a 12-step program, so the third step is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him, right? So I had always maybe gotten tripped up by that before. It was also probably some first step surrender stuff in there. And for whatever reason, man, I just got miserable. And that's probably the hardest thing for me to convey to someone who's trying to get sober. It's like, how do you tell somebody, well, you're just gonna have to get miserable? For me, that's what happened. I just woke up one day and I just was like finally at my wit's end, like crying, exasperated, just like miserable, and knew it, and knew that I knew finally like my way was not working.
So, we went to the gas station. No, leave it there. Yeah. We got Monster. All right, so we got the train wreck. These 2 pills were $10 each.
It's gold.
I think this is the extract that.
Yeah, that's what it is. It says botanical extract.
Yeah.
Dan was talking about.
Yeah, so these are $10 each. This was $20 for just these 2 pills. And then as we got those two, he said, oh, bro, try it in Royal, bro. And so we tried this Royal Kratom. So let's first things first. Again, we bought these 3 things with a couple energy drinks. So this finna be a party.
And a scratcher.
And a scratcher. All right, so I'm opening up Royal Kratom. Let's take a look at it. How easy it is. And so this was, how much was this? 15 bucks. And it was a bunch of pills. I mean, look at it. It looks like a supplement. I have vitamins that look just like that. So it's just a lens. It's just a pill with some powder in it. I'm sure if I broke it open, it's just got powder in it. Yeah, it's just a capsule with powder in it. So you can see it looks like a little leaf, because that's all the Kratom is. It's the crushed up leaf. And then what this was here, and this is the powder. And so I'm sure that someone who uses this on a regular is gonna be really upset when we flush this shit. Okay, so now this, yeah, it just smells like a vitamin.
Yeah,
Smell like
that's exactly, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it smells like
if you go to a vitamin store, it just smells just like a vitamin. So this is the train wreck. This is 11 Kratom strains blended. Looks like a vitamin. You take it like a vitamin, like a supplement, and that's it. So again, we got these with a couple monsters.
I think the main thing to know about Kratom, or anything that comes along that they introduce through the smoke shops or the convenience stores, is that the marketing is designed to be very attractive to those that are addictive. If it was really meant to be medicinal, it would come out a different way. They're not after how few they can sell or who they can help. What they're after is how much of this can they sell. And in doing so, the natural inclination is make it stronger, more concentrated, and more attractive to the addict. And the addict is obviously the best customer for Kratom. And for that reason, we all may have a little concern. But the primary way that they market things like Kratom, by saying that it'll help you detox off of heroin, or that it'll help you with other psychoactive disorders like anxiety or restless leg syndrome or insomnia, is clearly targeted directly at the person who has the disease of addiction.
All right, so just in case my sponsor's watching, or any of our sponsors are watching.
That's right.
We are now taking the substance here and we're dumping it. We're gonna flush it in the toilet. So.
Bye-bye, Kratom. Oh, look at that. There's still some on.
So we tried to flush this and it gave us some issues, so we're just gonna dump everything in here. I don't think it can absorb in your skin.
Okay.
You know, it's like, it's legal, it's, yeah, who knows what's in it.
But you never sold a car for Red Bull.
No. No. Sure did. Even at the height of my Red Bull drinking, it was only like 2 a day. Yeah.
So tell me where you are now in your recovery.
I've been sober for 635 days, which the longest that I've ever been sober before this was 5.5 months under lock and key in treatment. And the day they let me out, I used. I drive by the same gas station every single day that I rode a bike to pre-dawn in order to get it, and I never think about it. And this This is what's amazing to me. For me to, so I remember 2 years ago driving by that gas station, and it would almost be like this love affair. Like I would side eye it as I was driving by it. Now I didn't want whoever was driving me, because I didn't have a car because I sold it for Kratom, but I didn't want anybody driving me to know that I was like looking over there. You know what I mean? This is how intense this affair with Kratom was. And I would like look over there. Now I drive by the same gas station 5-10 times a day and never think about it. Until I think about it later and I'm like, this is all a result of like doing what somebody else told me to do, trying to talk to people about my problem, trying to help other guys overcome theirs, and praying on my knees. And see, I never stuck with praying on my knees. And this time, it's been 635 days. I can count on one hand the number of morning or nights that I've forgotten to pray and immediately dropped to my knees to try to take care of it. But ever since I started doing that, my life's been different.
Try to make it move by the inches, man. It ain't